Welcome everybody to this HubSpot AEO webinar as part of our From SEO to AEO webinar series in the HubSpot user group events. Today we're going to talk about HubSpot AEO, what we have learned comparing ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity brand visibility. There's some differences, there's some similarities. We're going to talk about all of that today. We're going to talk about what changed. We're going to talk about the differences between the different models, and that'll paint a picture of all the other models too. And then we'll talk about how to actually do answer engine optimization and improve AI visibility overall in all the models. In the meantime, like I said, tell us in the chat who you are. If you have any questions, put it in the chat too. And let us know if you have any questions throughout the presentation too, and we'll go through Q&A at the end too. Also, I need to remember to turn the tidum off next time. I always forget to do that. I'll do it on the next event. We are Next Indie Marketing. We are a HubSpot solution partner. I just shared the links. Whatever you need, HubSpot related, answer engine optimization related, marketing and sales alignment, HubSpot websites, let us know. We're here to help. Also, we have a free AEO guide that you can download. I just shared the link there too. And we also have a special running from July to August, which I'll share later too, but here's the link for our HubSpot AEO special is 50% off until August 15. I'll share more later. We have a bunch of events coming up, all of them AEO related. Of course, Unbound is coming in September, so we'll have some Unbound update events popping up soon, but these are the next two events we have, which are how to measure AEO success from AI visibility to leads in revenue. That's on August 12th. And then is AEO just SEO with a new name? What actually changed on August 26th. So those are the next two. September is going to be mainly Unbound related. So we're going to talk about that later, and I'll share the events soon. Let's talk about the agenda for today. If you have any questions, again, let us know in the chat. I'll try to answer everything throughout the presentation. So today, we're going to talk about, first of all, how AI is redefining client acquisition. If you have been here, you'll have 5 minutes that'll be similar to last time. But it's important for everybody to stay, be on the same page, understand where everything is. Then we're talking about what we've learned from the different models, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. And then we're going to talk about how to influence what AI says about you, how to create AI consensus at the end of the day. And then we're going to talk about how HubSpot AEO and how to measure AI brand visibility. Again, is there a way to turn off the doorbell sound? I wish there was a way to do it right now. I don't think there's a way to do it right now. I promise you it'll stop in about 25 minutes because everybody's late all the time. But it'll die down in a second. So hopefully the people that are disconnecting are not people that are tired of listening the doorbell sound. So let's get this started. So first of all, how is AI redefining client acquisition? So the first time, let me do something here just in case. Maybe this will help too. And me now. Can you guys hear me now? A thumbs up if everybody can hear me now. There you go. Hazel, thank you for the thumbs up. Lara, there you go. People are awake. That's good. That's good. Nothing like a good check to make sure that audio is great. That's what we want to hear. So how is AI redefining client acquisition? And this is something we have talked about multiple times. And I have some new slides here, but it's good to have a good basis of it. Search is not just links. Google AI overviews, Google AI Mode, ChatGPT, and other LLMs like we're going to talk about today are changing the way people discover you. They're also changing the way people make decisions. We'll talk about that too. So SEO is not dead, it is evolving. Now, 60% of Google searches are now zero-click. So zero-click marketing is a reality, and we need to adapt to zero-click marketing. We'll talk about that too. Now, B2B, but also B2C decisions are being made without talking to your salespeople. 70% of B2B buyers complete their journey without talking to you. So how do you control the narrative on your brand? How do you control how people find you? Well, not everything is bad news. AI is becoming the new homepage, but Google's still 210 times bigger than ChatGPT in discovery. So don't freak out. There's a whole study from Search Engine Land. I'm going to share the link right here. But also, if you have people connecting from LLMs directly, from AI conversations directly to you, they convert at 3, 4, 5 times more clients than other sources. This is a good example right here. This is a real HubSpot portal, 4,000 visits from Google, 42 leads in that time frame, 1 client. At the same time, 90 visits from AI models, 2 leads instead of 42, 1 client. The same amount of clients with a lot less traffic, a lot less visits, a lot less leads. There's a lot less work involved in that process too, with the same result at the end. So that is the one of the good news. This is not the full picture though. People are thinking that visits, leads, and clients are the full picture, but it isn't, because a lot of people are going to be going to ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google, having full-on conversations, making a decision, and never getting to your website. So there is a possibility that you don't have any way to attribute those visits to a lead, to a client. We're actually going to talk about that specifically and how to solve it in our next event. I'm going to put the link here again for August 12th. The event is how to measure AEO success, because at the end of the day, yes, it's great to have visits, leads, and clients, and HubSpot is amazing at that. And there are ways to interconnect these things, but it's also important to measure AI brand visibility and to measure how your brand is being represented in AI. We'll talk about that today. So think about zero-click marketing, how that is going to affect your business and your client specifically. And then from there, we're going to make decisions on how to track, what to track, and how to go from there. There's different metrics that we're going to track. Now, this is all discovery driven. The second part of this is even more important than discovery. Yes, I understand finding people that are going to become that are your ideal client, or those ideal potential clients, finding you is very important. Discovery is critical. Now, even more critical is when people know who you are, when you've done all the hard work of however you got to them, and they're about to sign a contract, or they're comparing you with your competitors, or they're checking your pricing, or whatever it is, they're checking your reviews. You need to control the narrative on what AI is about you as much as possible, because they will verify you, validate you, compare you through AI, through a whole conversation without you. And you need to know what AI says about you in the different models to make sure they make the decision to go with you if they're the right fit. So this is even more important. I'm having AEO conversation with clients that I would have never had an SEO conversation, because SEO wasn't important for them, because SEO was all about, who's going to Google, how to implement an AI model for transit cameras in the UK so the police has more information. Nobody's going to Google that. That's a very specific B2B product for technology-driven companies that have a very long sales cycle. But now, Google is not important for discovery only. It's important for this, because when they're about to sign the bid or send the bid to the government, or whatever the complex process is, you better know what AI is about you, because they will be using AI. Absolutely everybody. And AI is also Google. We'll talk about that today, to make the decision. So remember this, even if SEO made no sense for you, AEO is critical for everybody. Now, one of the important parts of this is controlling the narrative is all about understanding where that information is coming from. That's why we run SEO and AEO audits. This is information from an audit that we run a couple months ago. This client who we're doing AEO now for, there was a video from 11 years ago. There was a webinar on YouTube that was controlling the narrative on what the name of the company was, who was working there, what the products are, everything else. 11 years old video. This is a problem. We're doing this with all of our clients and all of our new clients, showing them how AI is actually taking information from old stuff that makes no sense anymore. And we need to fix this. And we'll talk about how you can control this. But this is one of the most important things about AI and AEO nowadays. Now, AI doesn't rely on one source only. It's not just create a website, write blogs, and everything's going to be dandy. You need to create a multi-channel strategy because AI is looking for consensus. We're going to talk about that a lot today. AI consensus is critical. So think about your website, your blog, your articles, your videos, your webinars, your social media posts, your reviews, your mentions, forums, Chamber of Commerce websites, Yelp reviews. Yes, I said it. Yelp reviews. We'll talk about that when we talk about ChatGPT. So think about how you influence what AI understands and says about your brand on all these channels. And I'll give you a framework on how to do it easily. So this is another misconception. People think that people go to ChatGPT and says, how do I find this? And then they go to the company and they buy it. The journey can be super complex. And even if your audience is not using ChatGPT, they will be using AI because AI could be used through a bunch of different ways that sometimes people don't even know. You know what tool we've been using AI for more than 10 years now? Google Maps. Google Maps is AI driven, 100% AI. There might be some people out there that say, I will never use an AI tool. They're using Google Maps every day. This is what's happening with your ideal clients. They're using AI tools to make decisions. And a lot of them, even if they're older population or whatever it is, we work with retirement communities, with luxury builders. A lot of these specific, we do B2C and B2B. A lot of these specific B2C clients are like, well, I don't know if my clients are going to be using ChatGPT to buy a $10 million home. I understand that, but they're going to be Googling it. They're going to be Googling things. They're going to be using Gemini through Google AI overviews, through Google AI mode. They're going to be searching things on different tools that they don't even know are driven by AI. They might be using Perplexity or some of the new browsers that include Perplexity or ChatGPT internally already. They might be asking a voice search to Alexa or any kinds of other Siri or things like that that's using AI to make a decision. So all these things affect the way people use AI. So that's why it's important to understand what AI says about your brand. Not only if you show up when someone searches for something relevant or has a conversation or does a prompt for something relevant, but specifically when they're searching about you in comparison with other products, other services, other companies, other names, etc. So Google isn't just a search engine anymore. You go to Google, you search for something, you're immediately on AI overviews, which now takes over the whole page with the sources on the side. It's just like using ChatGPT. It didn't change at all. And all the links are buried, which again, they're still there and you can click on them and that people do that too. But the same thing at the same time, it says, ask me anything. So then it's like, oh, you're in AI mode. So they took you from a search to AI mode, and now there's no blue links. There's nothing. You're on AI mode having a conversation with Gemini. That's pretty much it. So you don't need to know you're on AI. Your clients don't need to know. The same thing happens on tools. Not only you have the search, but you have you're on Gmail and the AI is on the right. You're doing the slides and the AI is on the right. So you're using Gemini for things you don't even know. Or people are, your potential clients are. And if you're like, oh, but I'm corporate, my clients don't use Google. Well, you know what they use? They use Microsoft. And you know what these situations are? Copilot. Copilot is everywhere. And Copilot is something that nobody ever thinks about unless your clients are in corporate. And you know why? Because a lot of these clients are not able to use ChatGPT or Claude because they're canceled internally in the network. People are not allowing their employees to use these tools. So the only one they can use is Copilot. So make sure you know how your brand is represented in Copilot, if that is your audience. So think about these things. So that's where in answer engine optimization AEO shows up. It's visibility plus trust plus consistency across the internet. We will talk about this and the difference between the different models. Any questions so far, guys? put in the chat. I'll answer as much as I can. Let me know if you have any questions. So let's talk about what we've learned from the different models. The first thing is nobody, and this is a disclaimer, nobody outside of the AI company knows the full algorithm. I don't have an inside scoop on, oh yeah, I talked to Mr. ChatGPT and he told me that this is how it works. Even though Google says this is how our model works, do not trust what Google says about their model because they're not going to tell you how to hack their model. They have been giving guidance for people for the last 30 years or whatever, 20 years since they started, but they know people overuse and take advantage of whatever they use as a model. So they will not give you the keys of the castle and go do whatever you want, exactly what we want you to do so you can hack our model. They give you guidelines, and the guidelines are very straightforward. And we use those guidelines because if Google tells you, hey, YouTube videos are great, hey, human created content is great. Yes, does that mean I will not use AI to generate content? No, but it means that the source of the content is a human. We'll talk more about that, how to do it at scale. So think about this. This is all coming from AEO audits we've run, hundreds of prompts we've tested, official documentation that Google and other models talk about, real client testing with our clients, consistent patterns that we have observed. So this is how we build this presentation, how I build it from thousands, I would say, thousands of prompts I've been testing for the last 3 years, and now we're utilizing in our framework. So the three AI agents engines work differently. Now there's a lot of similarities. ChatGPT is more about consensus and history. We'll talk about that. Gemini is more about the Google ecosystem. They, of course, for obvious reasons, they have an amazing ecosystem. Why wouldn't you trust that? And why wouldn't you trust that information to build and train your AI model? Of course. And boy, did they do a good job. We'll talk about Gemini and the growth that they've had. Incredible. Perplexity. Some people don't even think about Perplexity. I'll talk about why Perplexity is cool. Live citations are very important. So they have different memory. ChatGPT uses internal memory. A lot of stuff is from trained information. That's why a lot of stuff is older information, and we'll talk about that too. There's a lot of historical reputation that is important for ChatGPT that is not that important for the other models. There's a lot of community consensus stuff. Gemini is all about Google understanding. If Google understands you, like you, cites you, then Gemini will do too. I know there's not direct correlation between rankings and AI brand visibility, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the basis of the model. How does the model make a decision to mention you versus your competitor? They're going to use their Google Knowledge Graph. They're going to use entities. Knowledge Graph, by the way, is the database, the ginormous database that Google created with all the information they've been gathering from their beginnings, right? Like, who are you? Why? How? What you've wrote? What people say about you? All those things and all the connections between all those entities. Google knows. ChatGPT doesn't know anything. Google knows. We'll talk about that too. Perplexity is a lot more about the live web. It goes and checks more live what's happening right now, fresh content, current content. So there's differences to all these models. So let's talk about each one of them and what we have seen. ChatGPT is kind of like the consensus model. So what we've seen is strong understanding of brands and entities, long-term brand reputation, like I said, community discussions, very frequent community discussion, broad web consensus. So we see Reddit stuff show up. We see reviews show up a lot. We see industry directories, but also we see crazy things like Yelp reviews for companies that make absolutely no restaurant or hotel here, for companies that make no sense because ChatGPT made a deal with Yelp. And there's a whole thing, in my opinion, this is an opinion. Again, Google has its own reviews, so they don't want to show Google reviews. They want to show other reviews. So they're showing Yelp reviews. And then they're ranking a company has nothing to do with Yelp that has 3 Yelp reviews
depending on those reviews. And if you don't know this, if you're not checking your citations, that's going to affect the way your business is showing up on ChatGPT. You might be the last one on the list, or you wouldn't even show up if you don't have any reviews on Yelp, which makes absolutely no sense. But that's the way ChatGPT works. So you need to know this. Then we've seen some obscure website citations, like, for example, Chamber of Commerce. And I was wrapping my brain. I was like, oh, why? Why would this old 10-year-old Chamber of Commerce, directory, that's old content, absolutely all of it is outdated, is a trusted source for ChatGPT? Well, if you think about it, if I say something on my website, I can lie directly. I can say whatever I want. And now with AI, with ChatGPT itself, it's so easy to lie. You can just create whatever you want and say, I was born in 1875 and I've been working for 150 years. Like, literally, you can say whatever you want and it can sound super legit because you're using AI. People are using AI to do it. So, how do you trust a source? Well, in the case of a Chamber of Commerce, someone at least that has some kind of reputation in the city, in that location. If you're a local business, someone had to meet someone had to fill up a form and pay something. And someone went and verified that you are an actual business that exists in the city and that provides these services. So in order to have a page on a Chamber of Commerce, you have to go through a whole human process, not digital, that actually verifies that you're a local business in that city. So this is really interesting. If you think about that, that Chamber of Commerce page is so important. It's so trusted because humans had to verify it. So you're going to have to think about these things, and you're going to have to analyze which citations are driving AI sources and trusted sources so you can change them. So think about that, especially with ChatGPT, because they go to obscure pages like that. So the question is, what does the internet generally believe? That's what how ChatGPT creates things. So Mauricio, you have a question. We're a small education company in Colombia with around 200 outdated articles on WordPress. Google Ad represents approximately 8%. Da, 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 da. What's the fastest and most cost-effective way to optimize these articles to SEO AEO? Should we use AI and automation to update? No bulk anything. I'm going to say, if you use AI and and automation to bulk edit your old blogs, you will be signing your traffic death sentence. I'm going to talk about this in a second, the AI content trap. Don't do that. One by one, in a human way, using AI to accelerate one by one in a human way. I would even argue, don't delete the old articles. If they're not contradictory, they're your history. And that, just like I said before, for ChatGPT, your history is important. So don't erase your whole history for the sake of rankings. That is not that important. Having a history might even be more important than updating a bunch of articles out of magically, right? With ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your agent you're using, and then trying to hack the system. I'll talk about that in a second. So Mauricio, don't go there. We'll talk about the most effective and cost-effective way to do it. So how do you improve ChatGPT visibility? Well, you need to build brand consensus, right? So digital PR, Reddit conversations, review sites. So there's a lot of hard work there if you think about it. It's not just like automatically updating old SEO articles. There's community building, the review building. So these are human relationships that you need to continue to create as a business. And the more you do that slowly but steady, the better it'll become. Entity consistency is important for every model, but very, very important for ChatGPT. Strong about and author pages, and human expertise. We'll talk about EEAT with Google, but human expertise is super important. If ChatGPT can write it, why would ChatGPT read something that it can write itself with its own memory and then say, oh, this is a trusted source? No, anybody can write that. If itself can write it, why would it showcase it as a trusted source? Makes no sense. So there has to be something important, human, an opinion. a human helping another human. I talk about humans helping humans at every single one of my workshops. Make sure that's important and that happens. I show here in the graphic, that's HubSpot AEO. I'll talk about HubSpot AEO at the end of the presentation, how to track all of this. This is tracking AI brand visibility through HubSpot AEO. Amazing tool. If you don't have it in your portal, you can buy it for $50 a month. You can even buy only HubSpot AEO for $50 a month. So go check it out. Amazing, amazing tool. I will send you a link right here for HubSpot AEO tools. I have a whole article about it. So if you look at that graphic, and I put it right there, keep in mind it takes longer to make it grow. ChatGPT is the slowest one of these three models. We are seeing it everywhere. Every time we're tracking AI brand visibility, it's lagging. ChatGPT is lagging at the end, and then it happens. You can see it in that graph. That graph is from like March or April to now. And you can see how the other two, Perplexity and Gemini, has grown incredibly and stayed. And ChatGPT is like, I'm going to try. And then at the end, you see a big spike. That will continue to happen. Give it time. Don't give up. Check your source. Check sources. Like I said before, ChatGPT uses different ones like Yelp for reviews, for example, which still makes no sense. And the whole conversation about the Chamber of Commerce. Now, HubSpot AEO allows you to see which sources are actually creating the answer. That's one of the most powerful aspects of HubSpot AEO. Let's talk about Gemini for a second. And if you have any questions, put in here. The Google this is the Google ecosystem model, right? It is model, of course, it's Gemini is Google. Google is the biggest knowledge of information in the world. Why wouldn't they use themselves to drive results? So it's very connected to Google search. Again, a lot of SEO people are going to be like, if you show up on Google, that doesn't mean you show up on AI overviews or AI mode or Gemini. Of course it doesn't, because there's a lot more to think about, but it is very important. So strong technical SEO signals are critical for AEO signals for Google and all the models, by the way. Excellent entity understanding. Google has Knowledge Graph, which is a database of everything in the world that they've been building for decades, that it's connecting everything. It's nodes for every entity, and every entity, it's interconnected with all the information of the world. And Google knows things versus other models that don't know anything. And I'll talk about that. So there's fast website updates is important, more important for local AEO. If you're looking for local SEO and AEO, what AI says about locally, making sure that Google is happy is going to be your priority. Frequently surfaces Google AI overviews. Google AI overviews is one of my biggest friends nowadays. You can test everything you're doing there, and it's the fastest one. YouTube, for obvious reasons, they own it. Google reviews, of course. Google business profile, of course. And then structure websites. Websites need to be structured with schema. We talk about this in every single webinar because Google cares about schema, because they're building knowledge graph. The only way to build a knowledge graph database is to know exactly what it is. And the easier you make it for Google, the easier Google is going to showcase you. The way they would rank you easily, now they will showcase you in AI overviews and other models like Google AI Mode and Gemini. So how does Google understand this company is what you think about when you're optimizing for Gemini. Now, how do you improve it? You need to strengthen Google understanding. Technical SEO, of course. Schema, Google business profile. EEAT, and I'll show a lot more about EAT, is trustworthiness. You need to be a resource. You need to be trusted. You need to be the authority. All of these things are important. Helpful content and entity relationships. The pro tip here is test how Google understands you by using AI mode and Google AI overviews. Google AI overviews are amazing nowadays. You post something on Reddit, it shows up the next day. You post a blog, it shows up. You post a YouTube video, it shows up the next day as a source of a Google AI overview. I would even argue sometimes I see resources in minutes I know this sounds crazy. I post a YouTube video, 20 minutes later, it's part of the answer of AI used as a trusted source. So guys, test Google, Gemini, and all the things I'm talking about using Google AI overviews. Amazing tool. It used to be so hard to show up there. You needed a lot of work. Now it's amazing. It's like truly a test ground for everything AEO. Perplexity. So Perplexity is a citation model. It's all about the sources, and I love Perplexity for that some reason. For that reason, before Google got their stuff together, I was using Perplexity for search because it was better than ChatGPT, because it was better at giving you the sources, and because it was sending you to websites, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to find an answer and then click. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are using Perplexity for agents and things like that because of that powerful search. But also, the sources are right there. You can understand very easily how the sources, and it's saying, hey, this source, I can trust it for this reason and that reason. So it's research first experience. It shows, sources constantly. It picks up the fresh content quickly. Excellent for comparisons. So blogs, LinkedIn, Reddit, research stuff, statistics, all the numbers. Beautiful for Perplexity. So what is the evidence that supports the answer? So for Perplexity, you need to become a great source, a trusted source, which of course helps everywhere else, but this is specifically for Perplexity. You can see here, this is super cool because I was looking at the sources and it was like nextmarketing.com is credible for practitioner level guidance and case studies on HubSpot centric inbound marketing and AI era digital marketing from a commercial agency perspective. That's exactly how I want them to describe our company. So the question is, what is Perplexity saying about your sources? Is it trusting it? In what way? So think about that. So optimize for original research, statistics, comparison articles, white papers, strong H2s, which are the questions that you want to use as part of your titles and subtitles on your blog articles, and transparent citations, like explain things, humans helping humans. Optimizing for Google and ChatGPT is great. It's a great way to optimize for Perplexity. Just understand that Perplexity is all about trust and fresh content too. So keep an eye on that, post regularly. So just to see it at a glance, side by side, Consensus, long-term authority, Reddit, Yelp entities. Gemini is Google ecosystem, SEO and EAT. YouTube, Google My Business Profile, schema. And Perplexity is live citations, fresh content, research, LinkedIn, and statistics. Now, AI consensus is what builds trust across every engine, all of them. So AI engines work differently, but they all look for credible, consistent signals across the web. So website reviews, YouTube, all the things we talked about create AI consensus, which helps for all three models. So what's better for it is human expertise, helpful answers, fresh content, real customer stories, strong entities, consistent messaging. Again, if you're running a reputable business, you should be focusing on those things anyways, not just for marketing, not just for AI models. What weakens it is generic AI content. Hello, Mauricio. Don't automate all your refreshing of all the content. Thin SEO pages, duplicate content, anonymous content, conflicting information, AI generated fluff. So easy for AI to understand. Like, we were 2 years ago, we were testing with like zero GPT.com was a website I was using all the time. It's like, is this content AI generated? You know what? Absolutely all my blogs are AI generated content, but they're recognized as zero GPT. Why? Because I've written from transcripts from these sessions. So it's my opinion, my content, my tests, my clients' information that I'm sharing, aggregated information of what we've learned. It's what I know, how I'm helping people, humans helping humans, not generic fluff generated by ChatGPT. So the goal is to give every AI enough consistent evidence to reach the same conclusion about your brand. Mauricio, what is the website you mentioned to check if it's AI generated? Okay, the website is called, I'm not going to put the link because I don't want you to go to the website. It's called Zero GPT. You don't want to use that. It's constantly doing the wrong thing and telling you wrong things. We were obsessed about, is this GPT generated? Is this AI generated? It doesn't matter if it's AI generated. What matters, because on my blogs, again, English is a second language here, Mauricio. Yo soy Gabriel, vos sos Mauricio. I speak Spanish first when I was born. I'm English as a second language. I couldn't write a blog if you pay me. Well, I'm the CEO of the company. I literally get paid, but I couldn't. So what I did is write blogs. People were editing. It was a big process. Now I do these webinars, I do other videos, and then I use those as sources for the blog. And that means it doesn't matter that AI wrote the whole thing. It's my content. So Google won't care, ChatGPT won't care, and Perplexity won't care. I'll tell you more in a second on how to do this. On YouTube videos, Liz says, is it worth writing detailed descriptions for old videos we have close to? Yes, yes. Actually, don't just write descriptions. Write a question and an answer. De nada, Mauricio. So Liz, don't just write a description of the video. You go to the video, you either repost it or you go update it, and you put a question, which is the question that this video answers, and then literally the answer to the question, and make sure the video has a transcript. So, and that it makes sense with that question and an answer, and you're making AI models their life easy. There's a question, there's an answer, and there's a trusted source with a transcript that shows them that you are helping other humans, helping humans, and here's the answer to their question. So that increases the probability for that video to be used as a trusted source. And remember, I use the words increases the probability. Nothing is fixed here. AI is all probabilistic. We're only trying to increase the probability of AI understanding your brand and you controlling the narrative as much as possible, and you increasing the probability of these sources to become trusted sources of AI, so your entities are connected better. So when someone is asking for something, hopefully you can be cited, mentioned, recommended, and referred, and be the preferred version of it, which is a great segue to say that not all AI visibility is equal. You can be mentioned, like I just said. Mention means AI knows you exist. You show up on the answer. That's the name is there. Your entity name, the name of the company, the name of the product, the name of the framework, the name of Gabriel, the name of the CEO, the name of the owner, whatever names, whatever nouns, whatever entities you want to show up with. Are you mentioned? Especially the company name. Then are you cited? You can see here on the example that it says, one example worth examining is Next Marketing. They've been running a From SEO to AEO webinar series, blah, 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 which is exactly what I want AI to say. Next Marketing is a mention, but also in this case, I think it was ChatGPT. Yes, it has a little arrow. That's a citation. People can click on that and come to my website. So being cited is as important or more important than being mentioned, because being mentioned helps the narrative. Being cited means they can click through your website, and then we can track a lot more, as we've been talking before. So think about that. Now, are you recommended? Because you could be mentioned and cited and say, this company sucks for these reasons. You don't want that citation. You don't want that mention. So controlling the narrative is understanding the sentiment, which is something that you can also track with HubSpot AEO. So are you recommended? Are you positioned as one of the best solutions? And then are you the preferred solution? Are you at the top? Is AI saying things about you for people to choose you? So how is AI positioning you? Is it at the top? Is it not at the top? You need to think about that. So we've had multiple surprises over the last years on how AI and how the different models work. The first thing is AI recommends brands, not just pages. We've talked about all of this. Just remember, you need to build trusted sources so AI can understand who you are. Second, all content still shapes your brand. So just like Mauricio was thinking, how do I do this? What do I do with my old content? I would say rewrite them over time, update them over time, repost them. That's the most useful way to do it. When it makes sense, if you have old stuff, don't worry about it. Google's going to unindex it, not use it, but it's still important to keep some of that history there. So don't erase your history. You want to make sure that ChatGPT and all the models understand you've been in business for a long time. You've been writing content for a long time. There's a progression to that content. You've been learning a lot of different things. You've been teaching people all these things over the years. Old content, don't erase it. Unless it's hurtful and it's creating conflicting information for AI to understand who you are. If it's being cited, make sure you update it. So you need to know what's being cited. So old content still ships your brand, all videos, all blogs. Make sure you understand that. And you do whatever you need to do. Like I said, reposting is the most important. You take the article, you keep the old blog, and you say, update 2026. Here's the update. And then you repost it as a new blog today, and you put on the title updated 2026. We do that with most of our clients. There's like one or two blogs that we have with ourselves and most of our clients with, which are blogs that every year are reposted in January or whenever it is. I don't know if it's a hurricane season blog is in July, or if it's a New Year blog is in whatever. So we have blogs that are like the top 10 HubSpot integrations. We've been reposting that for 7 years now. And it always ranks better because we update the top 10, we update the links. Very, very important. So then again, one great piece of content doesn't mean authority. That's the other thing you need to understand. So one amazing blog, one amazing video isn't enough. You need a multi-channel strategy. And the takeaway is don't optimize a page, build a brand AI understands and sees everywhere. You want to be everywhere. So AI is like, oh yeah, I saw a YouTube video, I saw a LinkedIn post, there's a Reddit conversation. He wrote the same thing in a blog on Reddit. People are not saying that is a lie, right? Like there are validation methods in all these places which give them more trust for certain things. Go check your Chamber of Commerce, old content, understand, be everywhere. So AI, it's very easy for AI to take all of that and say, this is the narrative. What it says on the website is correct because people on LinkedIn said, ooh, great idea. That is validation. And then there's a review that says, yeah, Gabriel and their team help, with AEO and HubSpot. There you go. More validation from an actual client that had to be a HubSpot client in order to leave it in the HubSpot directory. All those things are critical. So keep in mind that. So there's same prompts, different answer. This is a question we get all the time. Why? Why different? Well, first of all, different AI models understand content differently. Second, AI doesn't know anything. AI is trying to put up an answer. I'll show you how in a second. So you'll see here, we show up second on, I think this search is like best HubSpot AEO agencies. We're like number 2, and there's like 2 or 3 agencies, which, by the way, they're like the top agencies in the world. So I'm super happy to be compared with these amazing agencies. So we're second on ChatGPT, we're number 1 on Gemini, and we're number 1 on Perplexity, always along the same kind of people. Some of them are different, but you can see the different amount and the different ways that we're being compared. And for example, in Perplexity, we are being cited even for our competitors, which is amazing. So think about this, work for this, and understand how you can control this narrative as much as possible. Let us know if you have any questions, and I can answer them. Thank you, Alex, for the note. So how do you influence what AI says about you? So the question is, how do we create AI consensus? Because at the end of the day, what AI says about us, yes, there's different models, like we said before, but if you create AI consensus, that strategy, that AEO strategy will work for all 3 models. And everything we talked about helps the 3 models grow over time. So the first thing I always explain is, how does Google, or how AI models work? They ask fan out questions. So they query fan out means that if you ask, how do I run a marathon in New York City in November? Whatever model is going to go and say how to run a marathon, what products to buy when running faster, what shoes do I need to run, what's the weather in November in New York City? Literally different questions, and then we'll find consensus around the internet, try to put together an answer and answer you the question. The other thing is that some AI models don't know anything. Most AI models, except for Google that uses a lot of knowledge graph, they will say, okay, if you ask what's the capital of France, it'll say, when the words capital and France and what is are together, what is the other word that usually is together? Of course, this is an oversimplification of a very complex model, but that's how they make the decision to say what the next word is going to be. It's like crazy, advanced autocorrect. Rand Fishkin talks about zero click all the time and how AI doesn't know anything. And we need to remember that because the answer might be different every time. That's why we don't say, oh, we rank number 2 on ChatGPT because there's no ranking. You could be number 1 now, you hit enter again, and you're number 3. And that is okay. What we're tracking is the probability of you showing up as the answer, of you showing up as a citation, and how we can make that grow over time. Probabilistic models, guys. So the second thing is what Mauricio was asking. Can I just post a bunch of AI content generated with AI? The answer is no. Yes, it might work for a minute. And this is another case study from Search Engine Land, where they actually posted like 2,000 content. I'm going to share it right there. 2,000 articles right there. And on those 2,000 articles, they were like, oh, it's grown incredibly. And then it died. So remember, AI generated fluff, is not the answer to this. What's the answer? We have a framework. We've been talking about all the things you need to do, but how do you do it at scale? Well, we created the human to answer framework for AEO with HubSpot. And what you do is you create AI consensus, not by doing tricks or prompts or trying to trick the system. You create real expertise, real answer, real customer interactions from capturing your expertise, extracting the answer from those expertise, automizing the content. So you create multiple different types of content, distributed everywhere. You earn trust signals, you learn, and then you amplify and optimize. What this is a marketing loop. This is the HubSpot marketing loop, but running specifically for AEO. It's capturing reality and then running through these loops that continuously create content in multiple sources to get trusted sources to be trusted by AI. And all of this needs to be connected with your entities. I'm going to actually send you right here. I have a couple articles. First of all, is like how AI is changing client acquisition. I'll share that one. I have the AEO tools. I already shared it. Schema. We talked about schema with Google. Check this schema article. And I just mentioned the human to answer framework. I have a whole article about the human to answer framework. All of these articles are 100% AI generated, 100% human. These are humans helping humans. I'm writing these webinars. These webinars are turning into that blog that I'm sharing with you and multiple sources, which is what we just talked about from the content. And I think I'm not sharing this. Let me reshare. There you go. So I was on this slide. I'm talking about the human to answer framework. Capture, then extract the answers, atomize content, distribute everywhere, earn the trust, and then amplify and optimize. Run these loops, guys, to make sure that you continue to create the content that you need to become the trusted source. I just shared the articles. Now, all of this is connected to entities, and make sure you do the entity work. That is your name, the name of the company, the name of your service, the questions that people ask. These are your entities, and you need to make sure that all these are interconnected and you're using them. In the past, you would say, this is how you do this, and you would try not to mention your company so you're not overselling your things. You need to include the name of your company, the name of your people. The author needs to be very clear on your blogs. We have multiple articles explaining how to do this. One of them is the AI content trap, which is also something we talked about today. Make sure you understand this and you use entities accordingly so you don't lose the opportunity of actually showing up on these sources. So now where's the best content? It already exists. It exists in your company. It's the recordings from your webinars, from your videos, from your internal meetings, from your client meetings, from your internal training, from external training, whatever you're doing. You're recording all of these. They all have transcripts. So easy to take this and turn it into content. Sales conversations, customer questions, objections from sales teams, real examples, your team experience. A lot of this is in your CRM. If you're using HubSpot the right way, you can use Breeze and tap into recordings from your sales meetings, tickets from your customer service team. A lot of this, you can use agents like Breeze to analyze this and give me the objections. I want to talk about these things in my next loop, in my next webinar, right? Because you run a webinar, you create a bunch of articles and posts on LinkedIn and Reddit. And by the way, I'm going to share this article on how to use LinkedIn and Reddit for AEO right here. You do all of that, you publish it everywhere, you earn trust on them, you see what worked, what didn't work, and then you run the next loop. So you go using the framework that I just shared with you, guys, you run these loops on a continuous basis, and you will continue to get better and better at these things. So again, if we go here, make sure you start capturing the content from what you're doing, all your sales conversations, customer questions. And this is 100% related to EEAT. This is what we talked about for Google, but it works for everybody. Expertise, experience, authority, and trust. If you work on these things, on capturing humans helping humans, and then taking that information and extrapolate it into your content strategy and how you build trust sources, this will continue to grow and grow and grow. And of course, what's important about this is that if you continue to do this and you do it in a human way, you can really win in AI. It's very important to stay human. Trust me, it is very appealing to go and automate everything and have an agent review all your content and change all your text and da 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 da. Using the human way, sharing human experience, sharing, that is the long-term game that is going to build over time, and you can actually become the trusted source on AI that builds on the answer, while everybody else is trying to cheat the system. The same way in the past, doing SEO the right way was all about doing it the right way, creating value that your ideal clients saw value in and wanted to engage with. It wasn't ever about just tricking Google to send the wrong people to your website. It's the opposite. Of course, like I said, multi-channel is very important. I shared that article already. And you can see how YouTube, LinkedIn, and Reddit show up all the time. Now, I also talked about how AI is probabilistic, and you need to definitely understand that it will change over time and things will grow and the different models are going to do different things. I just shared the link for the HubSpot AEO sensor tool. Amazing tool. It tells you the volatility of AI because today the answers might be more volatile than yesterday. And you want to understand this too, because when you're tracking AEO, you want to know if whatever you did helped or if it's AI changing the answers. So understand that and follow this so you can grow over time. So let's talk a little bit about HubSpot AEO and how it affects this. HubSpot AEO allows you to track brand visibility on the three models we talked about today. So you can see your sentiment score, see how it grows over time, not just the visibility. It's a percentage of times that you show up, again, probability. And then you can understand your competitor landscape, which also allows you to see prompt by prompt how the prompts are growing. And it also allows you to see your citations. So this is where, by using HubSpot AEO, you can see that Chamber of Commerce is showing up all the time. So you can go check it and update it. Now, it gives you recommendations on how to do this and what to change. One of the things I totally recommend is create groups. You can create groups in HubSpot AEO, and you can create groups for specific locations or specific services. And then you can see how that specific, this is a local AEO example that we use for one of our clients that is in Knoxville. This is how they grew on the Knoxville side of prompts. So think about that. create the groups, understand locally or per product or per division or per ideal client, whatever it is. And then you can see on that group or for the whole thing, the recommendation. And it is pretty comprehensive. It's telling you, go answer these Reddit posts or go create these YouTube videos. Check it. And it's pretty amazing. I'm going to share right here not only two more articles. One is how to run your own AEO audit, which I'll talk about in a second, and also how to do local AEO in case anybody is interested. And I also have two case studies. We run a case study on how to increase AI brand visibility using HubSpot AEO, which I share the link right there. And also there's a case study for for what we did in the last months, last 7 to 8 months. We run two case studies, but the second one that I share is ourselves, our whole strategy and how we build the human to answer framework. In the last minutes, I want to make sure I go through the checklist. Fix your SEO foundations, implement schema, structure content, define the content entities, create real content, right? Right? Distribute across the channels, from webinars, from videos, from conversations, sales meetings, whatever it is. Build citations from the report. Test prompts on AI tools using HubSpot AEO, but also test your branded AI prompts. Understand how AI is creating the narrative from that. Use HubSpot AEO recommendations, repurpose content, track changes, keep content fresh, align with sales to understand what are the questions, and maybe make sure you write content about that, and turn all of this into a loop. I know I have a couple questions. We have several brand units. Would it be better to use groups or brands for separation? If you have multiple HubSpot accounts, have them separate. You can use brands, and I would say for brands it would be easier because then you can have groups and brands together, and you can separate them both ways. Alexandria said, "Thanks for this. You will send a recording." Yes, I will send the recorder. And the next sessions that you want to register, I'm going to put them right here in case anybody missed them. These are the next two sessions that I'll show in a second. So the key takeaways today: every AI engine evaluates trust differently, but they all reward consistent, trustworthy brand. So create AI consensus, guys. Use the human to answer framework. Run those loops and continuously make it better. Track it with HubSpot AEO. ChatGPT favors brand consensus. Gemini aligns closely with Google's ecosystem, of course, and Perplexity emphasizes fresh, well-cited sources. Human expertise, trusted content, reviews, video, and multi-channel visibility strengthen your presence across all AI platforms. That means Claude, Copilot, whatever you need to show up on. Analyze it, test it manually if it's not on the tool that you're using, but make sure you do all these things because it strengthens the trusted sources and the multi-channel consensus you need to show up on AI. HubSpot AEO helps measure where your visibility differs from AI engine and identify opportunities to improve. And the goal isn't to optimize for one AI model, it's to build enough trust that they all reach the same conclusion about your brand. So guys, boom, that's 1 to 10. Tell us in the chat, how did we do? Answer the last questions you have. Thank you very much for being here today. Again, tell us in the chat how we did. I'm going to share right here, 1 to 10. 1 is we suck, and 2 and 10 is we are amazing. And I also want to share right here are all the recordings. Also, as I said, you can download our AEO guide here, and there's an AEO audit special right here that you can take 50% off for the AEO special that we're running until August 15th. Any questions, guys? I'm going to cancel here the presentation, stop sharing, and you can come off the chat. I know it's 3 p.m. already. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, I'm going to answer it here. Let me see. I have to hop off another call. Thank you, Liz. I love your energy. Great presentation. Thank you, Autumn. Muy bueno, Gabriel. La última, mucho Reddit. So, yeah, Reddit might not be huge for Latin America, Mauricio, but I would do it anyways because it doesn't matter what people do. It matters that AI is going to use it for the trusted sources. So keep an eye on that. Excellent info. Much appreciated. 10 as always, Mariam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 10. Please send recordings. We will. Great webinar again. This was great. Thank you. Any recommendations to properly implement schema? Yes. I just shared an article about how to properly implement schema, Natalie, and I'm going to send it right here again. Anybody else? Super helpful. Thank you, 10. Hope to see you at Unbound. Yes, Frank, I will be at Unbound in September. So if anybody wants to hang out, let's connect. I'm also an Unbound insider. So follow me on LinkedIn and I'll be giving you insider information from Unbound, sharing as much as I can from public information, of course, nothing insider to it, but I will be sharing as much as I can from Unbound. If you're not going to Unbound, follow us too and come to our event in September. We're going to start promoting it soon to make sure that we can update everybody that wasn't there or anybody that was there and wasn't able to go to everything on all the good things that are happening at Unbound. Very informative, 10 slides. Yes, I'll share the whole presentation. Schema made simple, good stuff. Thank you, guys. Any other questions? I'm here to help. If you want to come off mute, there's still 27, hopefully humans connected, probably more like 17 humans and 10 robots. But maybe if there's a human there with a question, let me know. I'm right here. I'll wait a couple minutes if anybody wants to come off mute or ask a question. Will post Unbound event be online? Yes. So you'll be able to come to one of our hugs. That's going to be part of our SEO to AEO series here in the hug. So you'll be invited if you follow all of our events. And if you were here, you'll get the invitation. And that means you can join to one of these webinars and we'll tell you everything we learn at Unbound specifically about AEO, but general things too. Thank you, Frank. Amanda, hi, great info. What would you recommend a lean marketing starter with optimizing for AEO? I'm a team of one and I'm feeling very late to the party. Okay, Amanda, do not feel late to the party. I understand that ChatGPT was, sorry, I'm going to say this. I don't want to make you feel bad, but ChatGPT launched in November 2022, which is insane. But for the last 3 years or 4 years, every marketer and every agency and even HubSpot, we've all been trying to figure out what the heck was going to happen because it wasn't easy to understand how this was going to change client acquisition. That's why we're still talking about those things because a lot of people don't even understand today how AI is going to change their client acquisition. So you're not late to the party. We've been running these webinars since October 2025, and we've been learning for the last 3 years. But I'm going to tell you something. We recently, beginning of 2025, is when we started to really truly understand how these things were going to shift, from Google Blue Links to what we do today, from inbound marketing to loop marketing to running the human to answer framework. So Amanda, you're not late to the party. Just do what we're talking about here, slowly but steady. I'm going to say run your own AEO audit. I'm going to share that link here. And then download the HubSpot AEO guide. Let me put the guide right here. Just download the AEO guide for free right there. But also get AEO certified. If you're still not understanding the fundamentals or you still don't know how to apply this to HubSpot, even though we can help you in the future, go and get HubSpot AEO certified. There's 2 certifications, fundamentals and how to use it in HubSpot. The HubSpot Academy certification is super cool. It's very foundational in the beginning, and it grows from there. So definitely go and check the HubSpot AEO certification. Let me see, HubSpot AEO certification. I'm going to Google it for you and put the link here for everybody. So HubSpot AEO certification. There you go. Become a certified AEO expert right here. So go to that link, Amanda. Get certified. Put it on your resume start, applying the fundamentals, understanding how to track it using HubSpot AEO. But the resources in these events and everything we should just share, all the articles are on our blog. All the webinars that I've run about every single one of those things are on the blogs with videos that explain things. And also you can watch all of our old webinars. If you have the time, that's a good place to start. Get certified, come to these events, watch some of those webinars and read the content and start slowly but steady. Go back to that checklist and go one by one every month, take on one of those. And trust me, if you keep running those loops, they'll get faster and faster and faster. And you'll understand more as you keep tracking things using HubSpot AEO, which is super simple to use. And then you'll become the AEO expert that your company needed. But it's just consistency. I know there's people on LinkedIn. Do not go to LinkedIn and start sulking about what people say. That say, oh, I tried to use an agent and I made my SEO automatic and I updated 35,000 pages in 2 minutes. Trust me, all those people that keep saying that they can run everything automatic and they can use Claude to automate and all these things are going to be suffering what I described in the AI content trap article and webinar, because a lot of those automations are going to, be marked as automations and not human content. So yes, if you create human content and then you automate things and you get them faster, better, yes, that's great. Now, don't listen to all the crazy LinkedIn agentic people out there that say, I already figured this out. It's 2 seconds with this agent. No, it's humans helping humans. And the more people understand that, the easier it is to work consistently towards the goal. People were asking, "What's the AEO? What's the ROI on blogging?" Well, if you write one blog, it's 0, right? You wasted your time. If you write one blog a month for 3 years, you'll get clients for that for sure. I can assure you, if you're helping your ideal clients and you're writing articles that help people, humans helping humans, Google has been ranking you for years. Same thing with videos. What's the ROI on a video? I want to create a video that is, what's it called? I want to create a viral video. No, you're creating one video to go viral. People don't even understand what the concept of viral is. But long story short, if you create one video a month, one video a quarter, you do a video series, you run webinars, 1 a month, 2 a month, 1 a quarter, it doesn't matter. That compounds. It's like compound interest. So the more you understand that AEO, SEO, schema, all these important things are compound interest, you do the right thing every day and it compounds and it gets better and better and better, and you track, and if you're going in the right direction, more of those things do. If you're going in the wrong direction, what happened? Why? So that's what everybody needs to breathe. Let's do it right now. And then understand that if we do the right thing consistently, things will grow over time. Don't get into the whole hype of agentic craziness, even though agents are going to help us a lot. But don't worry so much. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing that. I love when people say, not because I love people suffering, I love when people say, I feel late or I don't know what to do, because I want to be that person. I want to be the person that tells you, don't worry, start on step 1, baby steps to the elevator. If you saw the picture, the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Baby steps, guys, one by one. Let's get this going and do what we need to do on a daily basis. Any other questions, guys? I know it's already 3:09 and I'm on a rant right here, but can I help in any other way? Any other questions? Any other resources I can share with you? Hopefully the 21 people, I see some humans here. And I see some robots too, but anybody else, anything else? If not, have a great week, everybody. Have a great night, great morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. I know some people are having breakfast, some people are having dinner. Very productive, extra time. Thank you. No, thank you, Amy. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Autumn. Anything else? Anybody else? Again, I'm going to share my information in case anybody wants to connect. Our website, my LinkedIn, and my email. Connect with me. I want to be a resource. And if you're obsessing about agentic craziness on LinkedIn, send me a LinkedIn and I'll make you feel better. I'll be like, you're doing great, because everybody needs to be consistently doing the things that are important and not freaking out about this or that. If AI is telling the wrong story, just understand where that's coming from and try to control the narrative as much as possible. What's the easiest way to start that? Fundamentals. Fix your SEO, fix your website, write the right content, understand the sources, start tracking things slowly but steady. All right, everybody, take it easy. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great week. We'll stay in touch. Take care.